Morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Hope you've had a great week. I'm here in my little booth, which is a lovely place to be. Just had a little coffee. Sunday morning, and it's good to have you here. Every Sunday I take a wee bit of time to look at the week past, take stock, look at some of the lessons from the week, and share them with you. My name's Adam Holmes. I'm a songwriter from Edinburgh in Scotland. I'm a dad to a little ginger human called Rosa. And I've been making albums for about 15 years. This week, I've just been hanging in Edinburgh and working on my shows, hanging out with Rosa, my daughter. It's been a nice week. I was down in Harrogate before, doing some gigs, doing some working on a record also. And I was thinking, what am I going to do for the Sunday catch-up this week? Often I share one lesson from the week, but this week I thought it could be fun if I tried 10 lessons from the week. And I got this idea because I went for dinner with Rosa last night. And I asked her, what did you learn today? And she said, I don't know. And I thought, well, could I answer that? And I decided to turn it into today's episode. So here's 10 lessons I learned this week, and hopefully you get some value out of them too. Let's get into it. 1, money is the root of all peace. What do I mean by money is the root of all peace? Money is a tool for cooperation. Living in the city, you live in one part of the city, you want to go to another part of the city and have a bottle of water. The way you get that bottle of water peacefully in a group of 200,000 different people is with money. If you want to have someone help you do something, you use money. Therefore, money is the root of all peace. Not the root of all evil, as many people falsely believe. Money is a tool for helping human spirits cooperate. And therefore, it's something to be respected and something to be appreciated. The second lesson from this week was space creates softness. What I noticed leaving my phone at home and taking Rosa out for dinner has been moments of space. And I've noticed that when there's space, little things come through from Rosa. She experiences things and processes them, and when she's with her dad at a dinner, when there's space for her to express stuff, that creates a kind of softness in our connection, in our relationship. Last night she was telling me about an experience she had when she went fishing, and she felt really bad about the fish dying. And I know that experience only happened because there was space. So leaving my phone at home and really carving out those moments with family has been a good lesson of this week. Number 3, the third lesson from this week: hard work creates luck. Sounds obvious, you hear people say it all the time. But to give a specific example, this week I had a video go viral. Let me look at what it's at now. And I'm posting all the time, all the time. I'm posting and experiencing a lot of issues in terms of I've had like Instagram blocking accounts, suppressing accounts. I've had Instagram just deleted an account that I made that was starting to do well. And it can be very disheartening when you're pouring your energy and your work into life and life keeps pushing back on you And I've experienced this countless times in my 15 years as a professional songwriter, as a professional musician and a professional producer, helping other people make albums. But the reality is, there's a certain amount of volume that just means luck will eventually happen, right? And I'm talking about my low end, I'm getting more views than most people do, just because I'm posting a lot and it's decent quality and I'm getting good at it. But what I mean is these moments, these life-changing moments where it seems like a big lucky moment, it's not. It's actually just the compound effect of an incredible amount of work. So if you want something, go after it, and also respect the amount of work it takes. The fourth thing I learned this week is raising wolves takes time. I was raised a wolf. I have friends who were raised wolves. What do I mean by this? In my case, I didn't really have the examples in my life of how to live healthily with exercise and finances in check and, good boundaries and just being a grown-up, being an adult. I didn't really have that kind of example in my life fully. I had bits of it and I cobbled together a little bit of a sense of self from different people. But actually I had to kind of create myself. I had to bring myself up and I had to raise myself. And it was funny, I was talking to my friend yesterday about this and saying, it's almost like, I left home when I was 15, right? And I'm 35 now. And I almost feel like I'm 20 now in a weird way, because it's taken me 20 years of really just being in the world to know how to be. And when I was first in the world, I was really just like a sort of child in a grown-up's body, blundering my way through life. And that's okay. Raising wolves takes time. So if you're a wolf, go easy on yourself. Number 5, rest creates momentum. On Sunday there for the week ahead, last week I just took the whole day and rested, and I rarely take days off, and I think I almost feel like a sense of status from that, like a check me out, I can work harder than everyone, and getting a sense of self-worth, I guess, out of that. But it's a stupid way to live, and I was getting very burnt out, and then I just took one day and I realized that was like pulling back the arrow, and then when you release the arrow, it's like much better. You can work much more effectively. So rest creates momentum. Big lesson this week. Number 6, and is greater than or. By its very definition, and is two things, or at least, right? Or is this or this. Now, it's quite interesting when you think about scarcity and abundance. And is abundance and or is scarcity, or is there's a couple of choices or 3 choices or whatever, you have to do one or the other, right? This week I realized it's okay for my girlfriend to have comfort, and it's okay for me to have some comfort too, and it's okay for me to have my stoic lifestyle as well. So and is greater than or. And often when I'm making decisions, I'll be asking myself, can I do both? It's a great question when you're making a big decision and you're struggling with it. Can I do both? And is there a way that I can do both? And you'll be amazed by how often you can do both, actually. Number 7, I was thinking just this week, I'm never going to be done. There's never going to be an email I send or a mix that I send to a client. There's never going to be a song that I finish writing. There's never going to be a stream that I do. There's never going to be a concert. There's never going to be the admin for the concert that's going to be done. I'm never going to sign it off and, okay, that's it. All done. I'm there. I've arrived. That's never going to happen ever. So if that's true, How do I create the best day humanly possible for me so that I can exist and feel relatively balanced within all of the different things that are never going to be done? The eighth thing was yesterday I did 300 push-ups, and I hadn't done my push-ups on the other days. And I just realized I felt mentally clear. I felt healthier. I felt less negative emotion in my body. And I realized exercise is 60% of how you feel. Exercise is 60% of how you feel. Furthermore, I would say exercise actually creates the self that you know yourself to be. In my case, I know myself to be someone who works out pretty much every day, you know? And I know that when I do that, I feel more like myself. I feel more like a functioning, healthy human being. Number 9, character beats clothing. Now, you could take this one kind of as a metaphor. It can be a metaphor, but also it can just mean literally character beats clothes. For a long time in my 20s, I thought if I wore leather jackets and did my hair and, you know, wore the right perfect jeans, and I was so focused on all of these things in the external world to make my image look really good, that I failed to see that actually working on your character is the best investment. And it's the investment that's always going to return exponentially. Because yeah, you can wear nice clothes and you can kind of trick someone into thinking, wow, he looks really sharp, he seems really together, whatever. But at the end of the day, being someone who can rock up to one of the fanciest restaurants in town or the biggest shopping centers in a tracksuit and know that you can buy anything and not want to, beats dressing up fancy and lightly impressing people who you don't care about any day of the week. Peace in your heart beats that any day of the week. The last lesson I want to share with you in today's Sunday catch-up is expect to be misunderstood. That's the 10th one that I was thinking about this week. I realize how far I've come in terms of my journey as someone who, you know, I was scared to post online a few years ago, which just seems so funny now. I think about it, it's like, what was I afraid of? And actually, to be honest, what I was afraid of was a lot of things that have now happened, which is people not understanding what I'm doing, people who I know not understanding what I'm doing and not liking the way I'm doing what I'm doing and having things to say about it. And we're social creatures. We're hardwired to connect to people, especially people from our family or people from home or people who we've known since we were wee. But here's the thing, and this is a really important. If you want to be like 1% of people, right? And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I think it's probably about 1% of people that are truly, truly fulfilled and aligned in their own life, right? If you want to be like 1% of people, what percent of people do you expect to understand you and the way you're living? Because the reality is when you set out on a path to become truly, fully, authentically, unequivocally you are going to upset people, or should I say rather, people will become upset by that. They will. They just will. It's just, you know, you'll become a kind of signpost for where they've not taken certain actions, where they've not grown, where they've not evolved, where they've not moved, and that's okay. And also, think about this, when you watch a show, a documentary, what happens, right? When you watch a documentary about a welder or a guitarist or a bus driver or a foreign aid worker, what inevitably happens, right? The purpose of a documentary, when you think about it, is to help you understand something from the perspective of the true depth of what is going on, not just your surface level reductive process of looking at things. And that's what we all do. We go, teacher, this. Bus driver, this. Traffic warden, this. Adopted child, this, right? We don't know. We don't really know. We don't really understand. And that's okay. So when you set out on your personal mission and you're really on it, you're going to know, because it's not going to look like other people's mission. It's not going to be a prescriptive, perfect path. So expect to be misunderstood. I'm at a level now where I just do my thing. I just work. If people understand it, I know that's my people. If they resonate with it, I know they're my people. And if they don't, that's totally fine. That's okay. I give them permission. I let them, which is nice of me. I might as well anyway, because they're gonna, right? That's what I've got for you this week. If you got any value out of today's episode, please come and join my club. It is my private members community. There's over 1,000 of us in there. You get exclusive content. You get to connect with me in the WhatsApp channel, and I do live streams on the 1st of the month, every month, for the music fans. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Thanks for joining me. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the top comment to come and join the club. And if you're watching this anywhere else, just comment club and I'll send you a link to come and join us. Also, if you want to apply to work with me on an album of your songs, you can do that by clicking the link in the top comment.